At 10 a.m., members will work on a conference report on health insurance for the self-employed. And that's the schedule update on C-SPAN. Next, reaction from lawmakers on the congressional term limits vote. Tonight, the House defeated the constitutional amendment to limit terms in Congress. Two-thirds majority, 290 votes, are needed to pass a constitutional amendment. This measure received 227. In the next 10 minutes, we'll hear from House Republican leaders.
Okay. Are we close to something? Are we ready? Almost ready? I'm going to talk very briefly and take a couple questions. I'm going to get out of the way and let Mr. Army and the others proceed. But I have some people waiting. Let me just say, first of all, I am very surprised at tonight's vote. And the reason I'm very surprised at tonight's vote is that I realized about 2 days ago, based on what our whip Tom DeLay reported, that we were going to be above 80%. And that, in fact, at that number, we only had to have about half the Democratic Party in order to carry the term limits amendment. And I think that was the first time I realized that the difference in the two parties could be as gigantic as it is. If you'll notice the chart here, which I must say the staff did with remarkable speed, 83% of the Republicans voted in favor of term limits on final passage. 76% of the country supports term limits. 18% of the Democrats voted with the American people. And I think the thing I find remarkable here, if anybody wants to understand what's been happening over the last 25 years, is to take that set of numbers and then ask yourself, what does it tell you about where the two parties are and where the American people are? So I also want to say that I misspoke. It won't be HR 1, it'll be HJR 1, House Joint Resolution 1. It will be introduced as House Joint Resolution 1 if we're in a majority. I can assure you this will be a major issue in the 96 campaign, and I can assure you that pending the Supreme Court decision, when it comes down, we will have a task force and we'll sit down and look at it and decide what the appropriate steps are. But this issue is not going to go away. The American people have indicated in every single election I know of that they favor this. They are strongly committed to it. It's won in state after state, city after city. And I think it's only going to win in the U.S. Congress, despite the Democratic Party. But I think it's clear. I mean, I wrote this is far more polarized on partisan grounds than I would have guessed.